Fake friends don't show up in your life by accident. They calculate their way in. They learn your reactions, your insecurities, your emotional patterns, and they use them like buttons to press whenever it benefits them. This is the part most people never understand. Fake friends don't need strength to manipulate you. They just need you to be predictable. But here's the shift. You don't beat fake friends by confronting them. You beat them by outthinking them. In this video, you'll learn 7 dark psychology responses that quietly shut down manipulation, ego games, and emotional traps without you ever raising your voice. And once you understand these, no manipulator will ever talk to you the same way again. Fake friends don't stay in your life because they care about you. They stay because they can extract something from you. Attention, validation, emotional reactions. Every time you defend yourself, over-explain, or try to prove your worth, you're giving them exactly what keeps them alive: psychological fuel. These people only attach themselves to individuals they can mentally steer. They watch how your face changes when they make a joke about you. They notice the slight drop in your voice when you feel insecure. They pay attention to your micro-expressions, your tone shifts, your emotional weak spots, and they store all of it like ammunition. The core problem? Most people react instantly, emotionally, predictably, and predictability is exactly what fake friends depend on. They know what will upset you, what will guilt trip you, what will trigger you, and you respond the same way every time, making their job effortless. But that ends now. Because the moment you stop reacting the way they expect, their entire system collapses. These 7 dark psychology responses break their strategy from the inside, quietly, cleanly, and permanently. Response 1. The emotional freeze. Fake friends don't need power. They need your reaction. Their entire strategy depends on creating emotional spikes inside you. A tiny insult, a joke that hits too deep, a comment meant to embarrass you. It's all designed to provoke a response they can feed on. The moment your emotions rise, they win. That reaction tells them, I can still control your state of mind. This is why the first dark psychology response is the emotional freeze. The ability to stay completely still when someone expects you to explode or shrink. No facial reaction, no tone change, no defensive energy, nothing. This is called the zero spike reaction. Here's what it looks like. They say something rude, something provocative, something meant to get under your skin. Instead of reacting, you simply look at them. Calm, steady, unbothered. Not cold, just unreadable. In that moment, their brain fires a prediction signal. Wait, where's the reaction? They expected you to defend yourself. They expected you to get emotional. They expected you to break character. But you didn't. Psychologically, this creates an amygdala disruption. Their brain was preparing for your emotional spike. And when it doesn't arrive, the amygdala doesn't get the reward. The control loop collapses. They feel unsettled, almost exposed, because their script failed. This is why manipulators panic when you don't react. In silence, they are forced to face themselves. The emotional freeze doesn't just stop manipulation, it starves it. Use this once, and you'll notice something interesting. Fake friends suddenly become uncomfortable around you. This alone will make 50% of fake friends avoid you. Response 2. The strategic question flip. Fake friends don't attack randomly. They attack with preparation. Before they accuse you, tease you, or question your intentions, they already have a mental image of how you'll respond. And here's the trick. They prepare for your defensive reaction, your explanations, your emotional justifications, but they never prepare for logic. That's where the strategic question flip destroys their momentum. The question is simple, calm, and devastating. What made you assume that? This one line breaks their entire attack frame instantly. Here's why. When someone accuses you, you never support me, you probably forgot, you're acting weird, you're being dramatic. They expect you to defend yourself. That's the role they want you to play. But when you respond with, what made you assume that? Everything flips. Their brain shifts from attack mode, justification mode. Instead of putting you on trial, they are suddenly the one being questioned. Now they have to explain their intention, logic, or motive, something manipulators are terrible at doing because most of their attacks are emotional, not rational. Psychologically, this forces their prefrontal cortex to activate, pulling them out of emotional dominance and into uncomfortable self-awareness. They hesitate, they stutter, they backtrack, because the moment they have to explain why they accused you, their manipulation looks exposed. Example, them, you always ignore my messages. You, what made you assume that? Instant freeze. Their script collapses. Manipulators hate explaining themselves because it removes their power advantage. It exposes the emotional game behind their words. This one question doesn't just stop the attack, it reverses it. They lose dominance not slowly, but instantly. Response 3. The boundary mirror. Fake friends survive by testing boundaries. They push, poke, tease, disrespect, and observe just how far they can go before you push back. Most people fail this test without realizing it. They laugh off disrespect, excuse bad behavior, or stay silent to keep the peace. But silence tells a fake friend one thing: you can do this again. That's why the third dark psychology response is the boundary mirror. A calm, direct statement that reflects their behavior back at them without emotion or explanation. The line is simple: I don't allow that. This sentence is powerful because it doesn't attack them. It defines you. It tells them that you decide what is acceptable in your world, and their behavior just crossed that line. It quietly communicates: you don't control the rules here. I do. Boundaries intimidate insecure people because boundaries require confidence. When you say, I don't allow that, you are stepping out of the passive role they expect you to play and stepping into authority. Fake friends hate this shift because it removes the open door they were walking through. Here's the microscript in action. They make a disrespectful joke, one that's just funny enough to deny but sharp enough to sting. Your reaction is steady, calm, and grounded. I don't entertain that. No anger. No long explanation. No emotional lecture. Just a clear signal that their game won't work on you. Psychologically, dominance shifts instantly. Fake friends operate by placing you beneath them socially. A boundary pulls you above them, and their brain feels the threat. They become cautious, confused, even defensive, because you're no longer playing the role they assigned you. This is why fake friends fear confident boundaries. They expose the insecurity behind their behavior and show them you're someone who can't be played. Response 4. Controlled ambiguity. Fake friends operate like analysts. They watch how quickly you reply, how much you reveal, how deeply you justify your choices, and how easily you open your emotional door. Your predictability is the fuel they use to shape, steer, and influence your reactions. The moment you break that predictability, their entire psychological system loses structure. That's where controlled ambiguity becomes a weapon. Controlled ambiguity means you stop giving people emotional clarity they haven't earned. You respond slower, not out of rudeness, but out of intention. You reveal less, not because you're hiding anything, but because your privacy is no longer for public consumption. And you stop explaining your decisions, because explanation invites negotiation, and fake friends love negotiating your boundaries. When you adopt low-information communication, something powerful happens. Manipulators lose access to the emotional handles they use to move you. Their brain starts searching for patterns in your tone, timing, or energy, and finds nothing. Without those patterns, they can't predict your emotional state. Without prediction, they can't manipulate. Fake friends depend on emotional scripts, the routine you always follow. Maybe you over-explain. Maybe you fill silence. Maybe you apologize without thinking. Controlled ambiguity erases that script. Your responses become clean, minimal, and impossible to decode. Psychologically, unpredictability places you in a higher status category. Humans instinctively respect people who don't overshare, don't justify, and don't chase approval. It signals emotional sovereignty, the message that your mood, your choices, and your boundaries belong to you alone. Insecurity hates ambiguity. Manipulators fear it. Fake friends crumble under it. Because when they can't read you, they can't reach you. And when they can't reach you, they lose every bit of power they thought they had. Response 5. The silent power shift. There is a reason silence makes fake friends uncomfortable. Silence is dominance. In psychology, silence signals emotional control, self-possession, and a complete absence of fear. Manipulators rely on your immediate reactions, the defensive tone, the nervous explanations, the fast replies. But when you take that away, you create a pressure they don't know how to handle. This is the essence of the silent power shift. The first form is pause silence, a simple 3-second delay before you respond. It forces the other person's brain into uncertainty. That short pause interrupts their momentum and makes them reconsider what they just said. Fake friends expect instant reactions. When they don't get one, their confidence drops. The The second form is disengagement silence, choosing not to reward nonsense, drama, or bait. When someone tries to drag you into a pointless argument, a fake emotional crisis, or a manipulative setup, disengagement silence sends a clear message: you don't participate in chaos. This instantly removes the emotional payoff they were hoping to receive. The third form is reflective silence, the silence that forces a person to hear the weight of their own behavior. When someone makes a rude remark or crosses a subtle boundary, your silence reflects the discomfort back onto them. You don't attack. You don't react. You simply allow them to confront the ugliness of their own words. All three forms of silence build psychological pressure. They shift the frame from you reacting to them reacting to you. The dynamic flips, the power flips, and the emotional authority flips. When fake friends make a snide comment and you simply pause, expressionless, their mind spirals. They question themselves. They adjust. They self-correct. Silence becomes your strategy, calm, controlled, and impossible to manipulate. Response 6. Soft confrontation. Most people think confrontation means raising your voice, expressing anger, or demanding answers. But fake friends don't fear loud confrontation. They fear calm confrontation. They expect you to snap, defend yourself, or lose composure, because emotional chaos hides their intentions. What terrifies them is when you stay composed and simply bring their behavior into the light. Soft confrontation means calling out what happened, without emotion, without accusation, and without giving them anything dramatic to feed on. Instead of reacting instinctively, you shift into a calm, investigative tone, the kind that makes people suddenly very aware of their own actions. A simple acknowledgement, like noting the pattern, observing the intention, or pointing out the shift in tone, is often more powerful than a direct argument. Fake friends fear this because calm exposure cracks their mask. They rely on ambiguity, on the idea that their sarcasm, gossip, or backhanded comments can be dismissed as jokes. But when you address the behavior with steady composure, they're forced into self-awareness. They can't hide behind humor or excuses. They have to confront the intention behind what they did. Neuroscience shows that calm confrontation activates guilt circuits far more effectively than shouting. When you stay centered, their brain can't label you as aggressive or emotional. Instead, the spotlight turns inward, triggering discomfort, guilt, or defensiveness. They start scrambling to explain themselves, clarify their intentions, or soften their tone, all signs that the manipulation has cracked. This response is especially powerful in situations involving subtle disrespect, gossip that circles back to you, a sarcastic remark meant to belittle, or a comment designed to provoke insecurity. Soft confrontation exposes the behavior without feeding the drama. They're left holding their own intentions with no place to hide. And that's when their defensiveness reveals the truth. The mask slipped, and you noticed. Response 7. Strategic distance. Every fake friend has one thing in common. They don't respect closeness. They exploit it. The more access they have to your time, your emotions, your personal life, and your thoughts, the more power they hold. That's why the final dark psychology response is strategic distance, the quiet, controlled withdrawal that ends the entire pattern without a fight, without drama, and without giving them anything to twist against you. Strategic distance isn't about cutting someone off impulsively. It's about pulling away with dignity. You start by responding with fewer words, not cold, not rude, just concise. Then you reduce your availability. You stop being the person who replies instantly or rearranges your schedule to accommodate their inconsistency. Finally, you stop sharing personal information. Not because you're hiding, but because not everyone deserves access to your inner world. This creates a psychological shift they can't ignore. When you stop feeding their need for emotional access, they lose the leverage they depended on. Without naming it, this approach mimics the core of the gray rock strategy. You become emotionally neutral, uninterested in drama, and impossible to manipulate. Your calm distance makes their tactics ineffective. Distance has a revealing effect. Without your reactions to feed on, fake friends begin to show who they really are. Some become irritated. Some become clingy. Some try harder to provoke you. Some suddenly act overly kind. All of these are signs of panic, because manipulative people crumble when they lose access to your mind. Strategic distance forces a natural outcome. They either grow up and fix their behavior, or they remove themselves from your life completely. Either way, the manipulation ends permanently. When you start using these responses consistently, something deeper changes inside you. You shift from being reactive and emotionally exposed to calm, unreadable, controlled, and strategic. It's not just behavior, it's identity. Your brain slowly rewires itself away from impulsive emotional loops and toward emotional independence. You stop seeking validation, which means fake friends lose the very leverage they depended on. This transformation makes you psychologically expensive. You're no longer easy to access, easy to trigger, or easy to influence. People feel the difference instantly. You carry a stronger presence, clearer boundaries, and a mind that doesn't bend for anyone's ego. Manipulators stop seeing opportunity in you because there's nothing left for them to extract. You become unmanipulable, not by force, but by evolution. Each of these 7 responses dismantles a different manipulation tool: emotional triggers, prediction patterns, boundary violations, hidden insults, and dependency loops. Together, they shift you from reactive to strategic, from predictable to unreadable. And remember, shutting down fake friends isn't revenge, it's evolution. It's choosing self-respect over chaos and clarity over emotional traps. Use these responses with integrity, to protect yourself, not to dominate people who mean you no harm. The moment you stop reacting, fake friends stop existing. Master these responses, and you'll never be played again.